They say it takes a village to raise a child, because children need a lot of different people to look out for them. Families can use all the help they can get. After all, no parent is perfect. That's why McCoy leads the Early Intervention and Prevention Initiative. We want to showcase all of the excellent programs in our city that help families learn and grow together. Because when we learn and grow together, we make our village a better place to live. Thank you for tuning in. We hope you enjoy this episode of Our Kids, Our Families, Our Communities.
Hello, my name is Latasha Hudson, and I am with McCoy. We are here today. We're going to be talking about mentoring in today's episode. I would like for my guests to introduce themselves.
Hi, I'm Peggy Serby. I'm the Regional Manager with the Department of Child Services.
Thank you, Peggy, for being here.
My name is Robert Jackson. I'm a national author and speaker and community activist.
Great. Well, I'm so glad you're both here today. We're going to be talking about mentoring, and I would like to talk a little bit about the upcoming conference that you're having for males and females. Okay. But let's start off first with, why did you decide to do this conference, and why do you think mentoring is important?
Well, it's really important for our young men in this community to have a positive role model. We talked about the conference and resources that would be available, and for them to hear a really positive message and see some really positive things in the community.
Great.
I just believe all of our young men can use a mentor. Even the mentor needs a mentor. So having this conference is ideal, especially in the times we're living in now with so many of our young people are going astray, they're lost, and they need someone to pull them back this way. So I think, why not have this conference in the fall? You know, a lot of parents are looking for something for their kids to do. Drop them off to us on Saturday morning.
Right. Well, Peggy, with DCS, a lot of people think that their involvement can sometimes be somewhat negative. Tell me how you're doing the positive things in the community to provide these great resources for our families.
So we're really reaching out to a lot of the community resources and people who are actively involved with the youth in their community. And so while many times people do look at us as we're intervening in the lives of families and children, and that's necessary because abuse and neglect does occur, we also have a very strong prevention initiative. And so currently we're partnering with about 40 providers, and just like Robert, whenever I can hear about a great program and can reach out and help support that program, whether it's the word of mouth or financial support, I want to be involved in that. So we're more than just, intervening in families' lives. Prevention is really where it is. Like, wouldn't we all like to not have children who are abused and neglected?
Absolutely, and you've provided some great resources for our families, and they can access those resources on your website, which will provide that information at the end of our show, because it's helpful that they have these positive influences in their life. Robert, you've been around in our community for years, so this
youth my age?
So this youth empowerment conference is nothing new to you. So your work in the community has been influential. So tell us about that work and why you decided to partner with DCS.
Well, I think it's a marathon and not a sprint, because we have kids who are dealing with so many issues today. So any amount of programs is great. I'm glad to partner with Peggy and her organization. She's doing some positive things in the community, and she puts her money where her mouth is, and she also shows up. So we need more sponsors like that. We need more community leaders like that. So I just feel like a lot of kids just are looking for something to do. I just remember growing up in Brightwood, and we had so much to do, but you had to make a choice.
Absolutely.
Your color will never define your future. Your choices do. And I tell young people that all the time. So that's why we're having this conference, because we want to give our young people the opportunity to make the right choices.
Great. And McCoy's partnering with you all, as well as the Marion County Superior Court with the Juvenile Division. So you're also working with Judge Gaither. Yeah. And who else is working with you on this great conference?
So I really want to give a big shout out to Judge Gaither, because he is he is very involved. Saw that this was a very positive activity for kids. He took it on. He and I met and had a conversation, and I didn't know what it was going to look like. He said he had to sit back for a few months and try to plan it, but he pulled it together. So it's been great. So great big shout out to Judge Gaither and his staff as well, who are working with us. We have Children's Bureau, who will be a partner in this. Choices is a partner in this. We're seeking some other avenues through the community to help partner with us as well. So anyone is welcome. If anyone wants to participate, please let us know.
Great. Well, I have 3 great young men in my life. And tell me, what's the age group that you're targeting for this conference?
The age group is 12 and up.
Okay.
If parents are bringing kids younger than that, or maybe 10 or 11 years old, they should be accompanied by an adult.
Okay.
But, like Peggy said, this is a great opportunity. You say you have 3 sons, and there's I get a lot of phone calls, I get a lot of emails, I need something to do with my son. We need you to drop them off on October 14th at 7:30 in the morning. Let us have them till 4 o'clock. Let us work with them.
Awesome. So tell me a little bit about what's planned in that day. So what if I wanted to give my sons an update about some of the activities and some of the, things that the resources you're going to provide, what will be available?
So first, I want to say, Robert is our keynote speaker,
Awesome.
and so I'm going to let him talk a little bit about his message.
Okay.
Because as he said, he speaks nationally. He's taught and reached a lot of kids in the nation. So we're very excited about that part of the day.
My keynote, without giving away a lot of thunder,
Yes.
no excuses. That's going to be the topic of my keynote. No matter what, no excuses. No matter if your father's there or not, no excuses. Whether you have the resources you need or not, no excuses. The only place success comes before work is in the dictionary. You want to be successful, you got to put in the work. Wow. So we're calling out all community leaders to be involved. It's not just for young men.
Okay.
This is a conference for men, and there's going to be several workshops through today, just talking about man cave conversations, just man talk. I know we got the girls conference coming up the following week, but this is all about manhood and man talk, and there's going to be several different workshops on life skills, on relationships, building positive relationships, how do you handle conflict, how do you deal with anger, all those type of things that young men and seasoned men need to learn how to deal with so we can pass it on to the next generation.
Wow. So how do you think this conference is going to influence the future of our young men? What's the positive, influences, outcomes that you're looking to hope to get out of this conference? Long-term effects.
Well, I think that there's a few things, and I'll let Robert speak to that as well. But boy, looking at the strengths, everyone has strengths, and so hopefully the young men, the mentors, the fathers, all of the participants will take away that they have something to give to this community, and they have strengths within themselves, and looking at what is out there, what resources are available to help them to be successful.
Awesome.
We have a lot of kids who are on the bubble who are making good grades, but they don't have the right kind of influences, mentoring, life skills, and we want to make sure that we provide as many resources as possible. So even though we're having a conference on October 14th, this is an ongoing year-round thing, and eventually we want to make sure that these men that show up, we partner them with the young men so they can have mentors throughout the year. That's one of the goals that we want to have for this conference or any other conference that we do throughout the year. We want to make it an ongoing thing and not just a Saturday event. Kids need help every day, and we need to provide resources to get them that help that they need.
Awesome. And the conference is free to attend?
Yes, absolutely. It is free to attend. Again, bring your kids, bring your boys, register, and I know that the information will be provided as well, maybe at the bottom of the screen. But we would like to have as many youth as possible, mentors, fathers as possible. It is absolutely free to attend. We are hoping to have lots of giveaways in addition to a provider fair. So what are these resources in the community that we keep talking about? Other types of mentoring programs, educational programs, anything that we can think of to help wrap around and support our youth is what we're hoping to accomplish.
Awesome. And where's the conference located?
It's going to be at Warren Central High School. So on the east side at Warren Central. Like I said, we're going to start at 8 in the morning, and we're going to be there until 4 in the afternoon, and we're challenging all men to be there.
Awesome.
Right, and also lunch will be provided.
Great.
Snacks will be provided as well, and hopefully everyone gets to take home some goodies as well.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think Wingstop is going to be the caterer. So,
Yes.
Sign me up.
so yeah, so, we know young men like to eat, so
Right.
come on out, and we're going to fellowship, we're going to talk, but we're also going to feed you. So.
Great. Anything else you want to add to mentoring and why it's important, as well as the conference?
Well, just, as we talked about, every youth deserves to have a loving, caring adult in their home. And maybe that can't be their father, or maybe it can, and maybe we need to help the father to have resources to be able to be that parent. But every child needs that, male and female, and we want to be able to provide those resources.
Great.
I believe every kid, like Peggy just said, is one caring adult away from being a success story. So why can't that adult be us? There's a lot of men in pain, but hurt people hurt people. It's time for us to put the pain on the table, deal with this pain so we can stop carrying it on from generation to generation. So this conference starts the conversation.
That's great, breaking those generational curses. Is there anything else, Peggy or Robert, you'd like to add to today's show?
No, I want to thank all of the sponsors, everyone who's come together to help this. I'd like to thank you for having us on the show, and McCoy and the work that you're doing.
Great. Well, thank you so much for participating today. Robert, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, no,
Go ahead.
no, it's cool. I just want to personally thank Peggy. She's behind the scenes doing a lot of positive things in the community, and we need more partners like Peggy and her organization. And I'm challenging all parents, grandparents, uncles, aunts, cousins, get your sons there, get your nephews there. No excuse for these young men not to be there. We get a lot of messages. We need something for our kids to do. You have something for them to do. Show up.
Right, and it takes a village.
It takes a
and
village.
what you're doing is creating that village for us to be able to.
And it's free.
Yeah, and that platform is there for us to be able to take our sons and get involved, and they can get some positive feedback and influence and resources that they can use for their future. Well, I want to thank everyone for watching today. We learned more about the Youth Empowerment Conference for the males, and we're going to learn about the females here in a second.
Every year, tens of thousands of young people experience homelessness. If you or someone you know needs help, 1-800-RUNAWAY can provide support and connect you to the right resources. Together, we can end youth homelessness.
Welcome back to our show. My name is Latasha, and we are going to do part 2 on our subject matter, mentoring. We have our guests, Kiki and Crystal here, is going to tell us about an upcoming Youth Empowerment Conference for women. Would you go ahead and introduce yourself to our viewers?
I can. Good morning. I'm Crystal Hines with the Inner Beauty Program. We're a mentoring program here in Indianapolis, and we mentor girls ages 8 to 18 in the community. And I'm also a committee member for the Young Women's Empowerment Conference.
Great.
And hello, I am Kiki Gaither. I'm a lawyer, practices here in Indianapolis and kind of around the country. I am also a committee person for the Young Women's Empowerment Conference.
Great. Well, you know, mentoring is so important to our youth.
Absolutely.
Tell us a little bit about why you all decided to partner to do this great conference for girls.
Go ahead, Crystal.
Okay. Well, I was fortunate and humbled to come to the table to be able to be a partner for the work that we do in the community with our young ladies. We have lots of youth from the Juvenile Probation Center and from Department of Child Services, and so we really know what it is that the kids need, because we've been working with them for over 15 years now, just trying to listen to their voice and feel the need that they have in the community, in their households and in their family. And so I think it's very important for those of us who are on the front line to help, to come up with a conference of this nature, because we know exactly what it is that the kids are in need of.
Great.
Well, my husband is Judge Jeffrey Gaither, Senior Magistrate out at Juvenile Court. He is always involved in the community. As a matter of fact, we both are. But of course, just to piggyback on a number of reasons why you said that you were involved, he sees people coming to the court. These families are just destroyed. They really, really are. People are overwhelmed. As he would often say, he sees people having babies. And one of my areas of practice is in family law. And I just see basically the disenfranchisement of the family structure. So all of those reasons that I iterated, plus you need to be a role model. If you can't be part of the solution, you're part of the problem. And so I said to him, we need something like this for young ladies. There are a million of these programs and events for young men. Let's do the ladies. So I think he sat on it, and it just came together later. And I am also the host, the mistress of ceremony. You want to say mistress in that connotation. But I mean, I am, and I enjoy it. A lot of the ladies, it started out, this is the 3rd year for the conference. It started out with us trying to target young ladies who were part of the system, probation, you know, they had delinquencies. Now it's open to everybody, because you will find that just because you are not caught up in the juvenile system doesn't mean that you don't have issues. And so they have breakout sessions. They're so much fun. I mean, if you just want to come feel very princessy and just be empowered, because that is part of the title, Young Women's Empowerment Conference. You have power. So they'll do fashion, a la Project Runway sort of things, except you would put together, you know, an outfit. There's cake balls, there's healthy relationships, because that's really the core. And we are so often quoted as saying, young ladies, if you would only talk to gentlemen who have a 3.5 and above, all of the young men all of a sudden would start opening their books. That's empowering. So that's why we do it.
Wow, it sounds like you're going to have a wealth of resources there for the young women. Tell me about some of your other partners that you're working with.
Well, we've got lots of vendors that come in from different schools and sororities and colleges to cater to the young women so that they can walk through on their breaks and see what resources there are in our communities that we can offer our kids. We've got some really, like Ms. Kiki said, some great breakout sessions from some community partners. She mentioned Project Runway with Nikki Blaine. There's Child Advocates. There's
the public defenders, the IMPD. Just so many organizations. You hate to start enumerating them because you're bound to leave somebody out. You know, Tanya Bell with Indiana Black Expo is a great supporter, and
of course the Department of Child Services. Is it Choices Inc. is also a partner this year?
So.
Yeah, and so we know that there's going to be many partners involved, and we'll post the flyer on the show so that way people will know who the other partners are. The other thing is we'll also post the registration information. But can you tell us more about the date and the time of the event?
The event is on Saturday, October 21st. Registration begins at 7:30 in the morning, and it ends with the closing ceremony at 5. And that seems like a long day, but there are so many wonderful things happening in that day that we need that time span. We even have things for the parents, and so we have a pampering room for the moms and even for the dads if they want to come in and they want to get facials and manicures, and we have resources for them too. So it's not just about pampering, but they get information so that they know how to take care of themselves as well in these situations where they're put in front of you know, juvenile judges and things like that, and it's not something that they're used to. And so we give them resources, we give them people that are like them that will come and speak to them also. So it's going to be a great day. It's going to be a fun day, and the registration is on Eventbrite. And so we've got a wealth of people already registered, and we'd like to continue to see those registrations come in. And I believe that the tag word or the tagline for Eventbrite is YWEC 2017.
Great.
And don't forget, our guest speaker is going to be Mahja Zion, Mahjazon, former prosecutor here in Marion County. She recently transitioned to Evansville, where she is heading up to domestic violence section down there. She is a former beauty queen, Miss Liberia and Miss West Africa, and she gave up the title of Miss West Africa to come here to IU Bloomington School of Law. She's a former refugee. It is very empowering.
Wow. Wow, I think the girls are going to probably enjoy it, learn a lot, and it sounds like it's going to be a wealth of information for them as well.
Warren Central High School.
And that's what I was going to ask, where is it going to be located? And like I said, we're going to provide the registration information for them on the show, at the end of the show today. Is there anything else you'd like to add about the conference or why mentoring is so important to our community?
Well, if you look at the stats of the downfall of the family, you see a lot of inappropriate activities for young ladies and men, but we're focusing on them. So, and if for no other reason, you can eat free breakfast and lunch and do Zumba and just, you know, body and soul.
Wow.
And we're looking at the future mothers of our community. I mean, our young ladies right now, they have to be given resources to become moms and wives and things like that. And so it lacks. The family structure, like Ms. Kiki said, is just being broken down day to day. And so if we give them this empowerment, if we are teaching them what they need for, like she said, healthy relationships and living right, and just knowing, social media safety and things like that, getting self-defense class, all those things are going to be helpful, not just for right now, but that's going to take them throughout life. And we love to hear those success stories later on. So that's why this and other mentoring is just so important for our
They
youth.
need empowering.
Yes. And I think the empowerment, encouraging, and inspiring them to be, all that they can be, and providing these resources will make them walk away with something that they can say, you know what, I can do whatever it is I set my mind to. And it sounds like your partners, too, are going to influence that thought with them.
Lots of
Absolutely.
games, lots of prizes to help them feel empowered.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, it sounds like a fun-filled day.
It's going to be wonderful.
Great. What about volunteering? Are you looking for any other volunteers to help out with the event?
I'm not really sure on that event, but you know what? Volunteers are always welcome as long as you can pass, security. You don't want people who are inappropriate. And
Right.
They know who they are.
Yeah, and for volunteers too, we want to make sure that they're people who are really going to be vested in the youth and not just doing something that's just, every now and then I want to teach them to play, basketball, or I want to go out for a quick snack. We want people to really invest in our kids and give them all that they need to become wonderful young people, and adults after that. So if you're going to volunteer, we just need it to be something that is really impactful, for your volunteerism.
Fantastic. And we'll have the contact information available too, so anybody wants to volunteer, they can reach out to you. All right. Well, anything you would like to add to this show on youth empowerment for women?
No, if we haven't said it by now, then we have failed. But I think everybody understands empowerment. One thing I would ask, and I'm speaking to dads right now, and uncles and big brothers, please be invested. Invest in your daughters, nieces, cousins, because they need strong male role models. I often will tell the story, my mother is 95 years old now, and even 90 and 85 years, she still is demonized by the poor relationship she had with her father. So, be involved so your females can be involved.
Absolutely. Well, I want to thank you, Crystal, and thank you, Kiki, for being here today. I want to thank our viewers for our kids, our family, and our communities, and watching our episode today on mentoring. We stay tuned. You can find other episodes of our show on demand, so please look for other episodes that might empower you and also inspire you to make a difference in our community. Thank you once again for viewing.